All right, it says we're live, so just want to welcome everybody to the show. My webcam's not working. I'm Rob with ScrappyDew.com, but what you're looking at right now is Ken. Uh, he's one of our ScrappyDew design team people, and he is here to give you some great tutorials. I'm going to let Ken introduce himself, and then we're going to go to Michelle to introduce herself.
Hi
Go ahead.
everyone, my name is Ken. I have a website at for Ken's Creations, www.creativeken.blogspot.com. I have been designing for ScrappyDew for a couple months now, almost 3 months I believe, and I primarily use the Silhouette Cameo and the Cricut Explorer and make YouTube videos around both of those amazing machines.
All right, cool. Yeah, Ken is our resident expert on Cricut Explorer and Silhouette Design Studio. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. Ask them now, and we'll get to them a little later. All right, next is Michelle. So go ahead, Michelle.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle from MichelleMyBelleCreations.com. Many of you know me from the ScrappyDew Facebook page, and I'm also design team leader for ScrappyDew.
All right. So like I said, my camera's not working for some reason, so we're gonna have to look at Ken a lot. But just to go over the quick rules on how these Hangouts work. It's basically being broadcasted live, but there's about 30 to 60-second delay between what we're talking about and what you guys are actually seeing. So if you have a question over a topic that we're talking about and we happen to move on to the next topic, it's not because we're ignoring your questions, it's because we haven't seen them yet and because of that delay. So if you do have questions, feel free to post them there on YouTube. Feel free to post them there wherever you're watching this live video, and we will get to them. We're tracking them, and so I hope you're ready. Now, today's lessons, we're going to be showing you, we're going to start off with Cricut news, what's going on out there in the Cricut world with the Explorer, some new items that are coming out with that. And Ken's going to show us how to use the attach mode in order to get what everyone else knows as what you see is what you get, because Ken didn't know that's the term that you see, but he'll explain it, and he'll also explain the difference between that and what paper saving mode is. And then we're going to go into Michelle, and Michelle's going to teach us how to design, your own little card toppers that she'll show you. So we're going to go ahead and get started with Ken, and go ahead and start your screen share, Ken, and show us what's new in the Cricut design world.
All right, so let me go ahead and screen share here. So with the announcement about 2 weeks ago, Cricut announced that they are coming out with, or they have come out with, their wireless Bluetooth adapter. A lot of people were very excited about this because now they're able to not use cords when they are designing. Another great feature of this is when they start doing their updates for the Cricut Explorer, they're going to be doing an update where you're going to be able to use your iPad for the Make It Now project. So you're able to go onto your iPad, make it now, send it to your Cricut, and design with that. So a lot of people were excited to get this, and I do know a lot of people were able to use coupons at Joann's to buy this. And for people that don't want all the cords, it is a great product to have. And I have an iPad, so I'm looking forward to when they release that update where we can do the Make It Now projects with the iPad. So very exciting. Other than that, I know a lot of people are still waiting for the print and cut, which I am too. I'm really looking forward to that when that comes out, but I'm still hearing it's not going to happen until the end of this year. So Q4 of this year is when that comes out. So what I wanted to show you currently in Design Space is I had a lot of people reach out to me on Design Space is known for when you bring in an SVG file, it separates everything onto the mats for you. So for example, let's see here. If I bring in any kind of file, it's going to separate that onto the separate mats. So for example, if I can get this to pop up here. Well, if you know anything about Design Space, basically it's going to separate them onto the mats. I had a lot of people ask, if I don't want to separate these onto the mats, is there a way to basically go into Design Space and put everything on one mat and then cut my paper down and save paper? And there is a way to do that, and I can show you how to do that. The big thing to remember is in Design Space, I think a lot of us designers are used to designing on a mat. So in Silhouette Studio, or even on the old Cricut Craft Room, or I guess it's not old, some people are still using Cricut Craft Room, you are designing on a mat. In Design Space, you're not doing that. It's called Design Space because this area here is your design space, and then the intent is the program figures out everything for you. It puts it on the mat, does everything. So you have to get virtually, to start this process, you have to create a virtual mat, and you can pick a square to do this. And if I can get software here to work, let's do this. All right, there we go. Nice thing about having a web-based program, sometimes you just have to refresh the system. So any square will work. I usually pick this square here because there is no shadow image for me to worry about. I'm going to make sure I put a little check mark. I'm going to insert the image. And the first thing we need to do is change the color, because I don't want to stare at something brown. So I'm going to go cream. And we need to size this as if this was a virtual mat. I tried doing it at 12 by 12. Unfortunately, Cricut Design Space said that's a no-go, so I changed it to 11.5. So I'm going to go up to this edit button that has this little pencil here, and I'm going to change that to 11.5. So you're going to go ahead and change that. Up in this upper right-hand corner, we're going to go ahead and turn that on, because that's going to give us a grid. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it gives you a grid of basically what your mat would also be broken down to. Your mat is broken down into 1-inch segments, so is this grid. So I'm going to move my virtual mat up here to this corner, and now I can go ahead and bring an image in that I want to break down. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Insert Images, and get rid of my square here, go back to all images. And we'll just go ahead and bring in this bear here that is the Statue of Liberty. And first thing you want to do before you do anything is you want to get your size. So if you want, if you're doing a card, let's say, and you know you want this to be 4 inches tall, we're going to size that before we do anything. So you're going to go back up to that edit button. You're going to go to your height. So let's say I want this to be 4 inches. And we want to make sure it stays locked, because that way it's going to keep your proportion of width by height. And now once you've sized it, you can go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to ungroup this. And the reason why is we want to separate out all of the pieces we are using for this. So we're going to go ahead and separate everything out here. So here's all the different pieces we have. Now what we're going to do is we're going to group these items on our virtual mat over here. And we want this to come down a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to still see where those inches are there. So I'm going to go ahead and move this guy here and this color here, because that's going to be one color. We're going to move the brown in this upper right-hand corner, the blue down here, and then this light cream color right here. And now, before we do anything else, this is when you would want to set up the paper on your mat. And this is where sizing comes in, and you can either do it on this part in the process. So if I know this is my base color, this cream color, I know basically that I need to cut my paper right around 3.5, maybe even 4 inches by 4.5 inches. So you just kind of have to put this in. Some people want to do this at this time in the process, because that way they can still see the color of paper they want. Once you hit go, you'll have another option to see the grid on your mat to see where you place paper to make sure you need to make any final adjustments. So I would place my cream color down. I would place my brown paper, obviously going back from 12 inches here. I'd probably place it right about 8 inches, and I would go down with it about 5 inches there. I'd place my brown paper. Same thing with the blue. I would go up about 5 inches, and I would go over 4 inches. So I would cut my paper 5 by 4. And the same thing on this guy here. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4 inches by 4.5 inches. Now, at this point, we don't really need this back 12 by 12 mat anymore. We can get rid of that, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to select all of the pieces, and that's going to put a box around all of your pieces here. And over in this layer option, you're going to have weld, contour, and attach. We're actually going to attach these. It's going to change all of your guys to a single color, and that's why I was saying some people want to do the laying of their paper on their mat now, because it does change the colors. But now when you hit go, instead of separating everything into separate mats and separate pieces, it's going to put everything on one mat for you. It's basically attaching it exactly where you had it. So here is that last phase I was talking to you about. You can still see your grids here. So if you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So you could also wait to this point to actually place your paper too if you remembered your colors. You can also still move these guys if you needed to. But basically, this puts everything onto one mat, so it actually saves the amount of time that you're doing to do your cuts. It's also, you're not going to have to put in a mat, cut your piece, you know, take the mat out, put the mat in again. It's all in one cut, and it's definitely a time saver for me. And that way I'm not wasting a whole bunch of paper. I can cut my paper specifically to the size I need. So this is a feature I use a lot now. And as you can see, the mat's pretty big, so if you have multiple layers, you could put stuff in the middle here, off to the side on each one, at the top and at the bottom. So I've done this up to, I think, about 7 layers very comfortably. So it's a great little feature to have in Design Space, and then when, of course, you hit go, it's going to go ahead and just tell you there's only one mat. So it's a great new feature that I love to do all the time.
All right, cool. Hey, Ken, I had a question. After you hit the attach and you click the go, are you able to move those pieces around at all, or are they still like all grouped together on that page?
Once you hit the attach, you're not. So basically, let me show you here what would happen. So originally, if all of these pieces were not attached, you would be able to move all of these pieces individually from each other. However, because we attached them, if you try moving a piece, you're going to see all of your pieces will end up moving because we've attached them. So you can't individually move each piece. You can move the whole grouping. So if, let's say, your grouping's off, but as you can see, because of my mat size, you want to make sure that little yellow line is letting you know, hey, you're within your boundaries. As soon as I move it and I go out of those boundaries, it's going to turn red and basically say that's a no-go. So unfortunately, you can't move individual pieces. You can only move the whole attachment.
All right. Now, is it possible for you to just click undo and go back to the original colored bear, and then just hit the go button to show them the main, like even though you can have all those pieces laid out like that, and if you hit the go button on how it goes into paper saving mode.
Okay, so so the original image.
Yeah, if you can just hit undo a couple times, so that they're colored, but they're still there. They're right there. That's
so
good.
Essentially, if any image like this, if they're colored, if you hit go at this point, it's going to separate these into obviously different things. This you would be able to move around. So
Yeah.
if you have a little piece of paper and you're not using a 12 by 12, let's say you only have a piece of paper and it's over here, you could independently move these. But you want to do it on each mat because once you hit go, you're not able to move them. So I'll do this a lot because Design Space hasn't given us the option for an 8.5 by 11. I cut a lot on 8.5 by 11s. So, for example, when I'm doing my ScrappyDew designs and I get to my flesh color tones, my design will go along all the top here. Well, I have to move it to fit within an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So I'll individually move my pieces to basically to fit within that 8.5 by 11. But you need to do it on each single mat before you hit go, because once you hit go, you're not able to go back and change it. They're permanently on that sheet then, or on the mat.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So cool. So that's a quick way for you guys to do the that's what we call the what you see is what you get. You know, whatever you see on your screen is what you get when you hit the cut button. So hopefully that made sense for everybody, and it's a good tutorial. And Ken has actually put a video up on his blog, and I don't know, Ken, if you want to show your blog on where they can find those videos that you do.
Sure, absolutely. So on my blog, if you go to creativeken.blogspot.com, well, maybe if I spelled it right. All right, so there's a couple of different things you can do. You can go to my actual YouTube page, and that will actually take you to the actual page where all my videos are. I also have this header that's a silhouette tutor series, and that's about all my silhouettes. I just added the 2 new videos to Cricut Design Space, and I am going to be adding a new header that will say Cricut Design Space series, and that's where all of my videos will be housed for the Design Space. A lot of people, though, will just go to my YouTube, which I have it linked automatically to my YouTube page here. So this is where all my new videos, and I've broken it down into silhouette camera tips, Cricut Design Space tips, and then of course my projects.
All right, yeah, very cool. So if you guys have Cricut, have a Cricut Explorer, Ken does a lot of tutorials as well as the silhouette uh, you have a Cameo, right? So
I
Silhouette Design
do.
Studio. Yes.
Yeah.
So I would recommend subscribe to his little YouTube channel. And when we say subscribe, it's free. You know, it's not like you're paying money for it. And he puts out great video tutorials on how to use the software so you guys feel comfortable using it. So, all right. So very cool, very cool. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next subject. I don't see any questions about what we just learned. But like I said before, if you guys have any questions or comments about what Ken just taught, if you have any more questions, just post them wherever you're watching this video, and we'll get to them because we're tracking them. All right, so if Michelle looks like her screen is all queued up, I'm going to go ahead and turn that show over to her, and she's going to show us how to make some card poppers, right?
Card toppers.
Yep, card toppers. I'm popping over here.
Okay, I'm in Make the Cut. And I'm going to use some of the files that I created last week, and I'm going to import them in. Okay, I'm going to use this flower right here, and I'm going to put it on a new page. Okay, and I'm going to rotate it a little bit to even it out. And then I'm going to duplicate it. And what we want is we want this part of the flowers to touch and this section of the flowers to touch. So I'm going to adjust the spacing. I have 3 rows by 4 columns, and I'm going to adjust the spacing right here. And that should be good. Okay, and then I'm going to weld them together. Okay, I'll move them up here a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go to basic shapes. First I'm going to lock this layer, and I'm going to create a new layer. And I'm going to go up to basic shapes, and I'm going to bring in a rectangle. And I'm going to put my mat on green. And I'm going to unlock this for a second, and I'm going to rotate it. Okay. Now I'm going to lock it and unlock that. Okay, we want to get our size, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to size the rectangle the same size as this layer right here. So I'm going to copy the width, and I'm going to enter in here. And then hit return. And then I'm going to copy the height. Clicking back on my rectangle again, and I'm going to enter the height in here. And then I'm going to select all, and I'm going to stack them. Okay, and I'm going to lock the rectangle for a moment, and then I'm going to select the flower shapes, and I'm going to resize them just a little bit bigger. Okay, and you'll see why in a second. Should be good. And I'm going to lock the flowers back again, unlock the rectangle, and I'm going to do a shadow on the rectangle. And let's see, I'll leave it at, it's a little bit thick, maybe I'll bring it down a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to leave it on mitered, going to leave it on blackout, and click accept. Okay, and then I'm going to select all, and then I'm going to join them. Okay, now I'm going to get rid of my extra layer here that's empty. Going to unlock the flowers, going to select all, and I'm going to stack them. Okay, and what you want is you have the outer frame here, and you want these flowers just touching, because when we join them, when we weld them together, they'll weld to the frame. Okay, so now what you could do with this particular shape is you can use these for, you can actually cut them out using acetate, and you can use either your liquid sprays, or if you have ink daubers, and you can lay that on the front of your cardstock, and you can, ink, you could either, you could do them in sections where you could do the top layer of flowers one color, and then the middle layer of flowers one color, and then you can create like a rainbow effect, or you could take your sprays and you can spray it and use it as a stencil for the front of your card. Or you could just cut it out of the cardstock and just layer it on your card as well. So that's one, couple ways to use that particular card topper. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to go back and bring in the flower again. Put it on a new page. Okay. And I'm going to rotate it again, try to center it up. And we're going to duplicate it. I'm going to hit apply. And I'm going to hit weld. Okay. And I'm going to bring in a rectangle again. And this time I'm going to line it up with these, with this section of the flower right here. I'm just going to eye it up real quick just for the demonstration and line it up right here as well. Okay. And I'm going to resize it across. And I'm going to bring the rectangle down. Okay. And then I'm going to create a new layer. I'm going to copy it and paste in place. And I'm going to lock this layer for now. And I'm going to select all. And I'm going to weld them together. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of this empty layer. And I'm going to lock this mat right here. And I'm going to create a shadow layer. Okay, this time I'm going to do an inside shadow. And I'm going to leave it on mitered and also on blackout. And I'm going to click accept. Okay. And then I'm going to hide this layer here. And we're going to work with this top layer right here, the shadow layer. We're going to go to the rhinestones. Can you see that there? Okay. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a row of dots going across and down. And let me see how the spacing is. I'm gonna leave it on stone size 9, and we'll leave it on spacing here, and click the preview to see if that lines up all right. And as you can see here, these two are different from this corner. So what you would have to do is either switch stone size or change your spacing. So let's see what we get when we adjust the spacing a little bit. Nope, still off a little bit.
Hey, Michelle,
Go back.
I don't know if I may be having a hard time. Maybe my screen's too small, but I can't see your arrow. Like when you click on stuff, do you mind using that magnifying glass that you were using before, just to show us what you were clicking?
Oh, okay. I'm still having the issue with the resolution in the screen. Still with. I
Okay.
didn't get that problem worked out yet. Okay.
Well, no worries.
Okay. Right here, the preview on Matt.
Yeah, that works good.
Okay. 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 Just for the demonstration tonight, I'm going to leave the setting where it's at. But what you could do, like I said, you could either play with the, you select another stone, or you can play with the spacing and try to get the dots all centered and lined up together, because they're off a little bit. You can see the corner right here. See the corner here and the corner there. It doesn't match up. But just for demonstration purposes tonight, I'm going to say that it does match up, and I'm going to click accept. Okay. And then I'm going to unlock the lock here. Okay. And I'm going to select all. And then I'm going to do a join. Okay. And as you can see that it joined this shape with this shape and it created the holes here. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this empty layer here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is unlock this layer right here. Okay. And I'm going to lock my mat for now. And I'm going to create another mat layer. So I'm going to do a copy. Oops. I'm going to create a new layer here. And then I'm going to paste it. And I'm also going to lock this layer again. Okay, we're going to be working with our top layer right here. Okay, we're going to do another shadow. Okay, and let me move this over a little bit. Okay, what I want to do is make a mat that will fit inside the rhinestones right here. So I need to adjust the size of the shadow. And that looks about good. I'm going to hit accept. I'm also leaving it on blackout as well. And it's also mitered. There's the shadow size and blackout, and click accept. Okay. All right. Let me hide this layer here. Well, actually, no, we could color. I'm going to color it. Okay. And I'm going to color it to, and maybe I'll do a light color, so I'll do sky blue. And I'm also going to change the mat, and I'm going to put it on contrast so we can see it. See, it's on green now. So I'm going to change it to contrast. Okay. And I'm going to, let's see what color. I'll leave it that color there, sky light blue. That's extra matte right now. I don't need that. I'll lock it. Okay. So as you can see, we have the mat here, the main mat. We have the center mat layer, and in the back where the circles are, we also have another mat, which is black, which is this layer right here. So we'll leave it at black for now, just for that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock this layer right here again. Okay. And we will do a shadow on that as well. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take the inset off and move this over here. And I'm going to make it smaller. That looks about good. And I'm also going to leave blackout on, and I'm going to click accept. And I'll change that to, let's see, maybe that color there. Okay. So now we have the center mat. We have this main piece right here. You have your shadow. And you also have this layer here, which I'm going to change the color so you can see that a little bit better. Wrong layer, sorry. I think I hit that one. Oh. Bottom one. Okay. All right, so that's another card topper that we made. So we have, like I said, these three layers here, and then you have your mat underneath, which is this layer here. Okay, you can use this separately, and then you have the shape here. Okay. Okay. So that's another way to take the flowers that I made from last week and weld them all together, and then add your rectangle and weld that together, and then use your rhinestone feature to make the circles here, and then create a matte layer for the center. And that's about it for that.
All right, pretty cool. Now my video, like I said, I can't pin these comments, but I'm going to use Ken as my pinner so he can pin some stuff for me. So if you could, Ken, eyeball Janice Forrest's comment that she had. She said, so with this technique, you can use it, so you could make stencils of any shape per se. So I guess she liked the technique of making the stencils.
Thank you.
All right, and we do have a question that we'll be going back to for Ken. And if you wanted to handle that one, Ken, you can go ahead and eyeball that one. And she asked the question here. Maybe you can go ahead and read that one, Ken.
Yes.
Guy.
So S. Smith, question for Ken: why just use the 12 by 12 scrap canvas? What are the benefits of using this self-created 11 by 11 square? And you know what? You're gonna have me redo my whole YouTube video because I completely forgot about the canvas. And that's what I love about these Hangouts is what they're talking about is, I'll share my desktop here.
Okay, you may have to take off the eyeball. Okay, there you go. We can see your screen.
Perfect. So I did the 11.5 because I overcomplicated things. And if you go to the set canvas, Cricut has actually given you canvases so you can create a design based around, for example, a baby onesie or aprons. And if you go to the basic canvas and hit done, it is going to bring up a 12 by 12 square, and you can actually change it to, different. If you're doing a circle, oval, you can custom size, fit to a 12 by 12 cutting mat or a 12 by 24. You can change it down here, and you can change the color. So this is a much easier way of doing the demonstration than I showed you, and it is something I didn't even think about when I was coming up with my video. I've used these canvases but didn't even think about doing it. So thank you for bringing that to my attention, and I am going to redo my YouTube video tonight.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was playing around with that canvas stuff too. You can take off that eyeball, Ken. Yeah, and you can bring shirts in. You can, like you said, and I really didn't know what that was until you just pointed out that. So it almost like it puts a virtual shape on your mat. It doesn't cut it out, right?
No, it doesn't cut. It's just basically putting it onto the mat and giving you a demonstration of where it'd be. Yeah, correct.
Like a little reference point. Okay. Well, that's cool. All right. So going through, I don't see any more questions or comments. I did see that people were posting where they're from. We got Vicky from Rapids, Michigan, Susan from Tasmania, Australia. So I guess everyone got everyone around the world here, and we also got Jana from sunny Oregon. Maybe getting late there though soon. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn it over to Michelle. She's gonna show some design projects, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to her screen. You there, Michelle? I think you're muted if you can hear me.
Okay, could you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it and I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, our first project tonight is by Sherry, and she used the water balloon fight file, and she also used the hair from the Bushel of Memories file, and that is page 1 of the layout. A nice beach layout. And that is page 2. And our next project is by Jerry. And Jerry used the Field Day Kids file. And this could be found in the sports category. That's page 1. And that's page 2 of her layout. And the next project is by Jenna, and this is also a Scrap Factory project. It is a graduation expansion pack she used. And that's this card right here. And this card right here, she used the Graduation Pals. And this file, the Graduation Pals, can be found in the school category. And the sunglasses are from the seasonal expansion pack, seasons expansion pack. And she used the open toes body. And she has flip-flops on with some bling. That's cute. And this is a project by Ken. And Ken created this. It's a graduation frame he created for his niece. And this is a larger preview of the graduation.
Graduation season.
Mm-hmm. And this is the completed layout. It turned out really nice too.
Yeah, good job, Ken.
Mm-hmm. And this next project, we have a theme here tonight. This next project is by Melissa. And again, she used the Scrap Factory expansion pack and also the Fluffy Bears.
Oh, yeah.
And she created this for her son who's going to be graduating kindergarten. And this is a larger preview of the bear. And the next project is by Monica, and she used the Goodnight Bears. And this is a 2-page layout she created. And you can find the Goodnight Bears in the bedtime category. It's a close-up image of the bear, the moon. And here's another close-up of the bears. And our last project is by Paulette, also another Scrap Factory project, and she used the graduation expansion pack, and also the diploma. And I believe the Bobby hairstyle from the base set. And And that's all the projects for tonight.
All right, you're right. Graduation is the theme.
Yeah.
Is the theme, and it looks like a lot of Scrap Factory gowns were used.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, good deal. Uh, S. Smith said, "Thanks for the great Memorial Day sale." Yes, we had a blast, I guess, doing it. I gave Michelle. I said, "Hey, Michelle, periodically throughout the day on Facebook, go ahead and make some random coupons to give out to people. And once they were gone until the next random time." So I think she tried. Whenever we give Michelle the coupon power, she always tries to make it fair for all time zones. So we're not just focused on the United States, but we'll be focused on the other time zones around the world, because I'm in the military, just came from Korea, and it was like a 12-hour difference between Korea time and United States time. And what helped us out a lot was Michelle. Michelle's up maybe 22 hours out of the day, but we had nice overlap, the 12 hours from Korea. All right, so I'm not seeing any more questions or anything, comments. So moving on to the Scrap Factory. So this right here is the Scrap Factory Builder. We have lots of tutorials. Ken's done some tutorials. I've done some tutorials on the Scrap Factory Builder here, and all those graduation packs, they were found here, and ScrappyDew Grad Pack. And if you don't have the graduation pack, if you're a ScrappyDew Vault member, they're in there, as well as they are in our store. Just make sure you put more than like 35, I think it's 30 or $35 in your cart, and you get like 70% off. And that way, that $6 goes down to like around $2. So that's what it is, boy-girl suit. But if you're new to Scrap Factory, it's basically you choose, you choose the body, you choose the hairstyle, you choose the outfit and accessories, if any, and it spits out an SVG so you can use it in your favorite cutting program. So last week I told you guys, and maybe while I'm talking about this, Michelle, you can queue up. I don't know if you still have Susan's photos of the Christmas album that she did, and so we can show some completed projects with these new expansion packs that are coming out here today. All right, so I'll show you that real quick. So whenever you buy an expansion pack, you'll come over here and you'll add it right over here to the expansion pack key. As you can see, it's not just a ScrappyDew product. We have Susan Blue Robot, we have Paper Piecings by Nikki, and they all produce expansion packs for you to use with the Scrap Factory Builder. So what Susan Blue Robot, if you go to susanbluerobot.com, what she has came out with, and I know she's in the chat room, she can post the link of where these are going to be, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to the main page here and select Susan Blue Robot. And I know it's July, or it's May. They always say Christmas in July, but it's never too late to scrapbook about Christmas, right? So we have several of these Christmas items here. So we have the deer body. We have the elf. Don't worry, he will get clothed, or she will get clothed. We have the open toes. We have the gingerbread man, and we have open toed gingerbread man penguin open toes, snowman open toes. The deer does have open toes. I just haven't uploaded him yet, but I will do that right after this show. So basically, you can go over here to outfits, and she does supply a boy and girl outfit. And the beauty of the Scrap Factory Doll Builder is when you click the mix and match, it searches. So if I click the mix and match, it will search through out of every single expansion pack that I currently own what kind of clothes will match this body style. So if you wanted to deck out your Christmas deer here, so we'll go back to the Christmas deer, and if you wanted to deck him or her out, so we can go down to outfits, and we can we can diva up the deer if you wish, or you can make that deer an actual reindeer because we got a rain suit. Get it? Okay. And and so on. So any of these outfits will fit your body style, and of course you can always add the accessories that you have. So that's what's coming out new with Susan Blue Robot. She told me that this expansion pack, this Christmas one, is going to be available for sale, $6, and she did say if you click her bundle packages, you'll save more money. So she does have more than Christmas packs. She has Zoo Friends here. Let me turn off the mix and match. So you can see the different types of expansion packs that she has. She has robots, and she has house pets, barnyard. So if you bundle up all these packages, you'll end up saving money, and you'll end up increasing your Scrap Factory expansion pack library. So yeah. So what do you guys think? You like that, Ken? You like the new animals? You're muted, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
Yeah, I like I'm all about Christmas, and I like the fact that we can mix the Christmas characters with all the different clothes, because I know that's kind of fun to do.
Oh yeah. All right. I'm going to turn it over to Michelle so she can actually show you some of the completed pieces that Susan has done.
Okay, this is the book that's all bound together. That's the outside. And there is the penguins. There's the gingerbread. And the snowman. And the elves. And there's the pages that are flat. And then Susan shows them opening. And there's another page. And that's what the book looks like standing up, all bound together. And I believe that's it. These are just the edited pictures.
As you can see, she does great work with these, and I mentioned when you talk to Susan online, and you'll see all the paper that she has, and I always said, man, I said you're with all these projects you're doing, are you ever going to run out of paper? She said, no, I'll just buy more. So she's a scrap crafting person, does great work, and makes expansion packs. She said she didn't even go into the Scrap Factory. She just thought that she'd be using Scrap Factory to build her stuff, but she never thought about designing. So she got into the designing portion, and she sells these great expansion packs. And you can see her work on her website, SusanBlueRobot.com.
And she does a great job binding the books and putting them all together.
Oh yeah, and if you guys if you want to know how she binds her books, she does have a video on her blog, and she produces all these video tutorials. They're all free as well, so lots of learning that you can do just from going to her website. All right, Fran said, thanks for the info tonight. I'm visiting the East Coast and actually could watch. So very cool, very cool. Yeah, if you don't get a chance to watch, you can always rewatch the YouTube, but it's always better to watch live. That way you get to interact with us. Let's see if there's any more questions or comments. Let's see. Look, Susan did post the link. So if you're in the comment stream, she did post the link for her Scrap Factory expansion packs. All right, not seeing anything else. All right. Did you have anything else to show, Michelle? On the website? I see you got the website pulled up.
Yeah, I wanted to mention, I think there's a little bit of confusion about the Scrap Factory gallery. A lot of people are thinking that when they click on, like when they come here to the store and they click on the Scrap Factory gallery, and we have projects listed here that have been submitted either by the design team or by customers. And what happens is, say for example, they click on this one here, okay? And this was submitted by Bridget, okay? They think that they are going to get a download file of this particular project. But, you know, with the cart software, you can't remove the button, you know, add to your cart. So I do have down here to, you know, always read the description underneath the item, because there will be information pertaining to the item. Maybe there will be some links where you could find specific files, etc. But these particular items in the gallery are just inspirational, showing you how you can use the Scrap Factory program.
Yeah,
so I just wanted to make mention of that.
Yeah, like we always say, if you ever go to the store and you see a 0 for the price, unless it's like a free file under the freebie section, there will be something in the description. So like if you go to Michelle's pattern library, all her stuff in there is free, and you don't, when you click add to cart, you should get an error saying item out of stock. It's not out of stock. You just have to read the instructions below, and that way you can actually download the file all for free. You know, Michelle's pattern library, she puts it out there for free. She does this on her own time, and she's just sharing her patterns. And like she said, if you create something with any of these, submit them. We'll put them up here and display them, and we'll give you full credit for them. You know?
And down in the description, you can find the links to download, and there'll be information on, you know, what file formats are available, etc. And then if you do click the add to cart, this is what it'll pop up saying the item is no longer in stock.
Yeah. So that's that error that I was telling you about. All right. Not saying anything about the store. All right. Hey Ken, we did have that question from Miss Ross about, she wanted to see how you can do this. You know, apparently I guess it's easier in Silhouette Design Studio on how you can put curved writing or headings on an arc.
Oh, yeah, I can show you that.
So I didn't know if you had time to
Sure.
whip a little tutorial out.
So on Silhouette, it's really easy actually. What you're going to do is start by drawing a circle or an arc of however you want. So there is my circle, and let me go and make that a little bigger. And then when you go to your text, you're just going to type your text. And before you do anything, while it still has this green box around it, you're going to see this tiny little circle here. You're going to grab that and move it up to the circle, and it's automatically going to format to that circle you've made. And so it automatically arches it for you. Now you can still highlight your phrase there. You can change how big your font is. You can still change all of your different kinds of fonts you want. You can change the spacing by coming over here. You can also remove it. So if you say, oh, I don't like, you can move it down here, and you can actually take it off of the circle again, so if you don't want to arch it. But you have to do it while it is first initially, because now, as you can see, I've removed my cursor off it, and now if I try to do it again, it's not going to do it. So you have to do it before you remove
the cursor.
So right here, see how it has that green box around it?
Yeah.
So as soon as I click off of that, so I click and do something else, I can't go back and now go ahead and curve it.
Oh, really?
So,
So you can't even take the text tool again and click on it. Looks like... Oh.
By hitting the undo button up here, you can do it. Yeah, but it's really easy to curve text in that. Design space, it's a little bit different. Um, Same kind of concept. You can set a canvas by going here and changing it to circle, and you will. This is kind of funny because it seems a little dated, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to hit your text over here, which is your little T, and I'm just going to use Ken's Kreations again. It's going to formulate that down here, and underneath the edit on that, your text edit, there's this little separator here that has an E and an I. So if I hit that, it's going to separate all of my Kens, and following my pattern here, I would do the arch that way. I would have to move
manually do it.
Yep, each individual, and then basically using this little button up here to curve it, you're going to curve it to your circle. So a lot more time consuming. It can be done, just it's a lot more time consuming.
Now I know, like, I remember maybe 2 years ago, maybe three. Clever Someday, she did a quick video on how you can actually, so you cut all this and it's on your mat, but you want to lay it perfectly on your 12 by 12 paper that you're doing for a scrapbook. And she used, maybe it was like a hardware, but maybe Michelle knows what I'm talking about. But it's just like sticky mesh. And I'll have to post that video out there. It's a really good video, and it was unique on how she was able to just grab up all the letters and then just lay them down, so you don't lose the curve effect after the letters are cut. And
was it like a transfer paper?
It was almost like sticky mesh.
Yeah, it's like a mesh, and it has a sticky background. And what you could do is once you cut your letters out, especially if they're smaller letters, you just lay the mesh over the mat with the letters, and you then can lay it on top of your project, and then you can peel the mesh away.
Yeah, I'll have to show you that video, Ken. It'd be a good little demo for you to do for your blog.
Yeah, I would like that.
All right. Not seeing any more comments or questions, so hopefully Miss Ross was there, so she can see that you can do it in both programs, but the Silhouette Studio seems a lot easier to do. All right. Well, I did want to screen share real quick, and this is my little project here, and I'm hoping that it turns out into something useful, because last webinar or little hangout that we had, someone mentioned about an SVG viewer. Is there an SVG viewer out there? And so that got me thinking, maybe I can make a quick one for people to use. And so this is, I haven't named it anything. So this is, like I said, this is a prototype. And basically you hit the search for SVG button, and you pick the directory that you want it to search for SVGs in. So, for example, I can go to let's see here, I'll go over here, and we'll just do this right here, and I'm going to hit open. And so what it's going to do is it's going to search for every single SVG that is in that folder. So like I said, I have a couple of them, and it's just going to name them whatever you have them named. And you can basically just click on it, and it gives you a little preview window over here on what it is. And you can see, you're like, okay, this is the SVG that I'm looking for, and you just click the find button, and it's going to open up that window, and it's going to have that SVG that you're looking for. So I'm looking for number 3, and it's right here, and let's see if that is what we were previewing. So it's Mac users, they can actually see a little preview, but maybe for you Windows folks out there, this may be something for you guys to use in the future. So that's my little project that I worked on over the Memorial weekend with the limited time I had. So hopefully I can get this out there. So I gave you a little sneak preview of that. All right. And I'll check the questions one more time. I'm not seeing any new ones. I'll do a quick refresh. And nope, not seeing any. All right. So do you have anything else, Ken?
Nope, I am good to go.
All right. Anything, Michelle?
Nope.
All right. Well, I do want to thank everyone for watching, coming out here, and like I said, send us support email questions of topics you would like, support@scrappydew.com, and we'll try to get them. We try to have something out there, something unique, something that you guys can design with, and hopefully learn how to use your cutter and program a little better. All right. So we'll see you next week. Next Wednesday, probably same time. And just watch out for that newsletter coming out. All right. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.